Welcome to the Midnight Files channel. In 1908, Italian archaeologist Luigi Pernier was excavating the ancient Minoan palace of Phaistos on the island of Crete when he made a discovery that would puzzle scholars for over a century. Buried in a basement room, he found a small clay disc, roughly 6 inches in diameter, covered on both sides with mysterious symbols arranged in a spiral pattern. This object, now known as the Phaistos Disc, remains one of archaeology's most enigmatic artifacts. The disc itself is a fired clay tablet, dated to approximately 1700 to 1600 BCE, during the Middle or Late Minoan Bronze Age, though the exact dating remains debated among scholars. What makes it extraordinary is not its material or age, but the 241 symbols pressed into its surface. These symbols were not carved or painted, but stamped into the soft clay using individual seals or punches before firing. This technique makes the Phaistos Disc one of the earliest known examples of a document created using movable type, predating Gutenberg's printing press by over 3,000 years. The symbols themselves are arranged in a spiral that winds from the outer edge toward the center on both sides of the disc. There are 45 distinct signs that repeat in various combinations, depicting human figures, animals, plants, tools, and geometric shapes. Some symbols show a warrior with a plumed headdress, others depict a woman, a child, a ship, a fish, and various plants. The clarity and artistry of these impressions suggest they were made by a skilled craftsperson using carefully prepared stamps. Despite more than a century of study, no one has successfully deciphered the Phaistos Disc. Scholars don't know what language it represents, what the symbols mean, or even what purpose the disc served. This is partly because the disc is unique. Unlike other ancient scripts such as Egyptian hieroglyphics or Mesopotamian cuneiform, which appear on numerous artifacts and allowed scholars to eventually crack their codes, the Phaistos Disc stands alone. No other artifact bearing these same symbols has ever been found. The mystery deepens when we consider the context of its discovery. The Minoan civilization of ancient Crete had its own writing system called Linear A, which also remains undeciphered. However, the symbols on the Phaistos Disc bear no resemblance to Linear A, nor to Linear B, the later script that was successfully deciphered in the 1950s and revealed an early form of Greek. The disc symbols are pictographic, meaning they represent recognizable objects, while Linear A and B are more abstract syllabic scripts. Over the years, numerous researchers have proposed theories about the disc. Some have suggested it might be a prayer or hymn, others a calendar, a board game, a geometric theorem, or even an ancient story or poem. Without a second example or a bilingual text, like the Rosetta Stone, these remain educated guesses. Several people have claimed to have deciphered the disc, proposing it represents languages ranging from Greek to Anatolian to various prehistoric tongues. However, none of these proposed decipherments have been accepted by mainstream archaeology because they rely on unprovable assumptions and cannot be independently verified. The authenticity of the disc itself has occasionally been questioned. Some skeptics have suggested it might be a modern forgery, pointing to its unique nature and the fact that no comparable artifacts exist. However, most scholars accept the disc as genuine based on several factors. The archaeological context of its discovery was well documented and conducted by a reputable archaeologist. The clay and firing technique are consistent with Bronze Age Cretan pottery. The disc style and the objects depicted in its symbols align with what we know of Minoan culture. Most importantly, there would have been little motivation for anyone in 1908 to create such an elaborate forgery of an undecipherable script. What makes the Phaistos Disc particularly frustrating for researchers is that it appears to be a complete document. The spiral arrangement suggests a deliberate beginning and end, and the symbols are organized into what appear to be distinct groups or words, separated by vertical lines. This structure implies the disc contains a coherent message, yet that message remains locked away from our understanding. Some researchers have focused on trying to determine the direction in which the text should be read. Does it start from the outside and spiral inward, or from the center spiraling outward? The presence of what appear to be correction marks or erasures suggests the craftsperson was working carefully and deliberately but doesn't reveal the reading direction. Statistical analysis of the symbol patterns has been attempted, but without knowing the underlying language or meaning. Such analysis can only go so far. The disc currently resides in the Heraklion Archaeological Museum in Crete, where it continues to attract scholars and curious visitors from around the world. It has become an icon of the mysterious and undeciphered, appearing in books, documentaries, and even inspiring works of fiction. Yet despite modern technology, computer analysis, and over a century of scholarship, the Phaistos Disc guards its secrets as firmly as it did when Luigi Pernier first held it in 1908. The existence of the Phaistos Disc raises tantalizing questions about ancient Crete and the broader Mediterranean world of the Bronze Age. Was the script used on the disc widespread, but lost to time, with only this single example surviving? Was it perhaps a special ceremonial or religious script used only for specific purposes? Did the Minoans have contact with another culture whose writing system this represents? Or was the disc perhaps the experimental work of a single individual, creating a unique writing system that was never adopted more widely? These questions may never be answered unless another artifact bearing the same script is discovered. Archaeological excavations continue in Crete and throughout the Mediterranean, and there's always a possibility that new discoveries might shed light on this ancient mystery. Until then, the Phaistos Disc remains a humbling reminder of how much of human history remains unknown to us, and how the ancient world still holds secrets that resist our best efforts to understand them. The disc represents more than just an unsolved puzzle. It's a testament to the sophistication and creativity of the Minoan civilization, demonstrating their technological innovation in creating stamped symbols and their artistic skill in crafting the individual stamps. It reminds us that writing systems and methods of communication were more diverse in the ancient world than we might assume, and that not all ancient knowledge has survived to the present day. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.